I wouldn't say there's that much to read like in the overall kind of market indexes in that in the overall market indexes because we were getting a little bit extended here. We had 3 days of gaps, right? So I think running into resistance and having a little bit of a rest day is probably a good thing. Now we got a 0.3% gap up, which is not too bad. 0.3% gap up is not too bad. I think we're just all systems is a go. We'll have to kind of keep mind and make sure we don't have any double lutsies like we did yesterday. But what is happening that shows you like how strong the market is even when the market like has these kind of like big flushes down and you're like, oh shit, it's short time. What ends up happening is you just grind back and, that's the hallmark of like a really, really, strong bull market when you get like these kind of big dips and then you're like, oh, normally you would just keep shorting, right? You'd be like, oh, that's a bear flag or so on and so forth. And that's not necessarily the case. These things end up just getting bought up and they, even if you end up just grinding along, there's a lot of individual stocks that are running. So like as of the moment, it's still risk on in the market. We're going to be wheeling and dealing and doing our things. As always, first thing you want to always do after you check market indexes is to let's see like what kind of stocks have earnings out. Now, because there's like a little bit of a small cap bonanza, it's a little bit harder to pin down like exactly what stocks are earnings plays and which ones are just kind of your normal, normal 2021 pump and dump kind of thing. So we usually stay with if you're getting into like any of these stocks that are flying around, but you're on like day 3, day 4 of the move, I'd probably stay away from those. Like, like this Sava, like you don't even want to be, this is like this, like once you get into day 3, day 4 of the move, you're getting into that weird spot where, if you're nimble, sure, you could trade it or out, but there's as much of a chance that this ends up back at $20 within a week as it does at $200, So where's really like your reward on that one? It's a scalper's kind of thing at this moment, but you'd have to be, like I said, you'd have to have like spirit fucking fingers because you're going to have to, there's going to be a spread. And I wouldn't be surprised to see these guys just dilute the shit out of this thing. If they're smart, the CEO actually should be fired if he doesn't dilute. They should tank the stock on their own because this is the highest it's ever been, right? So they should be selling off shares like it's nobody's business. If I was the CEO of a company, my stock went from $10 to $140, I'd be selling paper nonstop, trying to get myself paid. I'd be getting myself paid. So you got to wonder now, Goose, the Goose Island. Goose Island. It's a nice beer, a little bit too hoppy for my taste, but the Goose Island, it can be delicious. It'll give you a nasty little hangover, but you got yourself a nice breakout over here. 100 million share float. It's only $3 billion company, so you're right in a sweet spot. This used to be a former high flyer. Now this is like right up my bread and butter, right? This is like, you got Goose Island. It's a nice Canadian beer. It might not be Canadian, but whatever. You got a fairly low float. You got to break out over here like yearly highs. You're right in that sweet spot of market cap where things can go nutty. This is a good one. Like if we start to pull on this thing, especially if we dump off at the open and we get close back into 40 or whatever, that's going to be a little bit of a heater. I'd add that. That's probably top of the list for today. AVXL. See, this is another one. Like this $6, $20. Like, do you want to put your lunch money on this one? Pass. Billy Bong. Damn. The fuck. I mean, the range on Billy is very, very nice. It looks like earnings is next month, so I don't know really what's going on here. Parkas. What's a parka? I've never even heard of the term parka. Goose Island doesn't make beers? That's bullshit. What is a parka? You white people, man, you guys got all... Whoa, ooh. I've never... people wear stuff like this? Shit. Even when I'm in Michigan, it's Bulls on Wall Street t-shirt, Bulls on Wall Street hat. Ooh. I never heard of the term parka before. That's nice. A man wears leather coats and t-shirts. You want to look as greasy as you can. That's the only way to go. Add this Billy. This is going to have some range on it. Only if it pulls back. You don't want to kind of taste this up on day 3, but it's not too extended. I'd add that to the list. Okay. Ooh. No. QBT. Yo, skills. What the fuck? I was just looking at this like 2 minutes ago, too. Fuckers. You know what? This is a hot chart. You know, you're coming out of... When I'm in Michigan, I had the same guard. I had the same guard. I don't change. I'd never heard of parka. That's nice. See, white people, you guys can get away with that kind of stuff. You can have furs coming out of stuff, look all poofy. You know, the rest of us, we gotta look. I'm bald. I have to look cool. Looking cool is more important than being warm. 30. Man, this thing is hot. Add that to the gapper list. The one thing with this one is it does trade a little bit like shit intraday, but I roll with that one. Shun W. Corsair's very hard to trade. Alright, Shun W. You know what? This one is in a bounce spot. If you actually look, I think a lot of these solars, like I think SPWR also, a lot of these solars are like ready. They're getting into a bounce spot. This Sun W has got a nice little push on it here. So you had to break out to 30. You retraced to 16. So think about that, like 30 to 16. It was, even though it was actually kind of orderly, but it still dropped like 40% right there. Now you're kind of remounted over the 9. This is actually, this one's got a good look to it. Add that to the list. That's nice. All right, now we're starting to build off. Hey, Pola's got the same chart as Sun W. Pola's got the same chart as Sun W. Man, these guys got. I don't usually like these kind of, you know, these kind of price range stocks, but these ones they got enough liquidity in range where like you don't necessarily have to, you know, they don't trade like small caps. Like I think this one has got. This one and Sun W have the same chart, so I would actually leave these on the list. That thing is HA to the WWTT. Good. Here you can see here, so you got breakout, pull back, and then a go. Man, that's nice. Add it. That Pola, Sun W, both look. They look the same, but they're not the same. All right, Excel round 1,000. So we've been trying to bounce this Excel for God knows how long. Today could be the day. Today, I've been saying this forever. Today could be the day. This is a 30-minute chart. Let's go to hourly chart here. So you get kind of multiple levels to think about in Excel. You know, you have this 22-ish spot, and then you got 23 overhead. You know, even though it's a turd, and so usually like when you pick a stock for like your favorite for the day, you want to kind of pick something that's working. This one hasn't been working, but if it starts to push over 22, then you got next up 23, and then that's where the real decisions will be made. You know, that's where the real decisions will be made. So it's still got room to go. That's why I can't say it's my favorite for today, because you still have like multiple levels that you need to clear out. But frankly, this looks like it's bottomed out. If I'm a swing trader, you know, sometimes a stock just is not, because when a stock is ranging, it doesn't make for good day trades. When it's trending, it's very, very good for day trades. But when it's ranging, it's not good for day trades. So in essence, like till those levels clear, it's not going to be the best day trader, but it's getting there, right? But what you can do also is like you've got all this support here at 19. This one is just about, you can put a stop at 19, throw this into, your IRA, and you're kind of good to go. Yeah, Daniel, I'm in a bunch of cryptos right now also. ETH, GRT, and then DOT right now. So I think this one, it's going to need a little bit of work. It looks like a swing trade. You also don't want to necessarily change it up on a huge gap, but like we're getting into there. It's starting to clear those levels. It's on the list. I think we roll with it. Like we roll with it. One of these days it's going to go. It's just I think it might be a little bit of a better swing than a day trade just till those levels clear. But it's on the list. Look, all these Chinese names are going. No Dogecoin for me. Check this out. I would put an alert on this Huya. At some point, this thing is going to clear like this 30 spot, but you're already getting there. You're already getting to a sweet spot. Like, see this thing? When it clears this, you have a straight shot into about 40. And then, right, you have no resistance of 50. Chinese stocks have been hot all year. Like, if you think about, like, right, like Baidu and so many of these stocks. Billy. Right? This thing was $10, ran to $160. PDD ran from $20 to fucking $200, right? So if this Huya breaks this, it may need like a day of rest or something like that. It's getting there. Like you can already see it starting to clear. Like I wouldn't be surprised to see this thing attack 30 in the next couple days, and then that's where the real decision is going to be made. If you're a swing trader, you definitely want to put this on your list because these kind of weekly breakouts tend to be really powerful. You got like a nice location on that. As a day trader, like Huya's okay. It's not necessarily like the hottest thing, but I do think this is probably something worth a little bit of a swing life. Baidu needs a little bit of. Baidu, I think, is still a good trader. Space, we've been trading this a lot. If it gets over, this is a 15-minute chart. This is not something you can hold for more than like an hour or two because it's getting long in the tooth. But if you bust over 59-ish, like this one's going to have a chance. You got a nice little location on this one. I like this one a lot. Like this one's got, for day trade only, like it is getting long in the tooth, but the strength on it is working really well. Like every single dip on this thing is getting bought up. 59 alert. Let's get this thing going. We should be good to go. Hey, Dilesh, I think Baidu's still good. You just can't, the swing trade entry is done, but it's still a good day trader till it breaks probably over here. All right, let's talk about just some regular stock. I got alert set on this UAVS. If it busts over 12, I think that triggers the next move back into this 15 spot. QS, we've been on the QS train for a little bit, but we're starting to get, right, this contraction of range. And you're starting to kind of break over some MAs. You're stuck under the 20 SMA today. Just a little nudge over it. And I think you have a straight shot into 60. Like this one's got a huge, right? This thing was $130. Came down into 40. So you've retraced about 70%. What we're seeing in this market too is that a lot of stocks that get sold off, once they just base out for like a month or two, they come right back and roaring back. Like in this market, nothing is left for dead. So that's going to be, this one's got a good location on it. Fubo's up a little bit too high for my taste. It also just trades like shit, but what are you going to do? Hey, we got a weird data print on this NVEX right now, but if you look at the action yesterday, This thing dipped down into about 250. We dipped down into 250. You got a 50-point range. 50-point range into the close. Now you got a red open on this one. See how it's down about $1 at the open right now? Ignore this little misprint. If this thing goes red to green and breaks over this high over here, it's gonna go nuts. It's got a chance to go nuts. It's got sick range. So I don't know what was going down on the into the close yesterday, but it was looking hot. Fucking skills, gosh, bajarnit. That's more buyers than sellers. Fuck, motherfucker. Damn, it took off without us. We'll have to wait for a pullback on it. Yo, for those of you guys that like these little guys, it may need about 1 day of rest here. Let the 9 EMA pick up. There's a spot on this Kirk right around 29. May need one more pull here, but once it comes back and pulls, I think it should take out this 30. I got this MP on watch for swing trade. You got yourself a nice base. These commodity stocks have been hot for this whole run for the last few months. You want to really be thinking commodities, rare earths, It's weird because all the electrical vehicles are coming. You would think that coming so hot that you would think these kind of oil intensive stuff are good. But what are you going to do, right? So I'd keep that on the list too. And then SPWR, I think, is ready. If you start to see the rest of the solars go, watch for any kind of tap back on this thing close to 42. We're going to come in and get a shred on it. Yo, this INSG, if any of you guys like these little guys, INSG, you got yourself a move from 14 to 22. Now you pulled back right into this old breakout spot, right? So you got 18. See how you're starting to absorb right at that 18 spot? Now you got your 9 EMA starting to just curl up a little bit here, and you're building out a range. This thing looks ready to go. It looks ready to fuck. That thing's hot. It probably, any kind of ORB on this, I think you're ready to go on it. It's got a good enough range. Its ATR's $2, which for a $20 stock is pretty good. Always look at the ATRs on stocks, right? Average true range 14 days. Because if you're trading something that doesn't at least move $2, no matter the price, then you're gonna have trouble getting a little bit of the goose and the gander out of it. I think this one's gonna have a chance. I wouldn't be surprised to see this thing 22, 23 if the market holds up pretty well. Yo, this OSTK I think is going to be a daily trader for us for a little bit. The range on it was fantastic yesterday, 14 points. But more than just the range, it was... When a stock is on your list and it moves clean, where dips are getting bought, where dips of support are getting bought, where the levels that you like to watch actually hold, and it's got enough range, that's the perfect type of stock you want on your type of list, at least for day trading purposes. This is probably top of the list for today. I like this one too. I think Blink should hold. It was trading like shit at the open, but then it totally rebounded, back. Yeah, I mean, this is what's just called a trend continuation setup, meaning anytime you thrust, it'll pull back and look like shit for a few days, but it'll just hold at support, and then it starts to go. So you're just in that kind of trend continuation mode. I think that one's okay. Out of these fades, out of these stocks, Goose, OSTK, Workhorse is a daily trader, JMIA is a daily trader. We got a couple of these solars, and I'll hold out hope for, Excel. We'll see what's going down. Lemonade. VJ, you motherfucker. It's stuck in range right now. It's got a couple levels to clear, but I think that one is also more of a, I think that one's also more of a swinger. ENPH. Steve-O, ENPH stuck under resistance right now. Probably a pass. Apps is not an easy trader either because, you've got yourself. This is nice, but it is a little bit thin. Now, you do have earnings and stuff. I didn't even see this one. Ooh, I would add it. I didn't realize earnings are there, so the liquidity should be there. Tan is too slow, Guillermo. Apps is nice. Let's add that. The float on apps is tiny. If this thing starts to really push, like we're gonna, this has been one of the hottest stocks of the year. The earnings, blowing past Wall Street forecast. That sounds nice, right? Guidance also tops. That sounds nice. We're in the game. eBay's a thick little bastard. Tan, instead of tan, it's easier to just look at some of the solar stocks that you like, Guillermo, just because it's the ETF. It's going to be a little bit slow. Hey, so SM, you missed your entry on it. You could still day trade this, but the swing trade entry was around 9. FRSX, man, this thing also is a heartbreaker. It's just, the range is just too loose and too nasty. This is the list. We know what we got to do. This is our list. We're sticking to it. That's the list. I'm sticking to it. Excel, SPWR, Bitcoin stocks are fine. Nikola is still fine from yesterday. Workhorse, always a fave. JMI's the GOAT. Space, 59 trigger. Yes. And then we got, Billy Goose, Sun WXL, Skills. Man, we got a nice list going today. That's the list. I'm sticking to it. I don't know what's going on. Good. Yeah, Blink is always on the list too. Let's do it. Vic, you love FSLR, baby. Cool. Yeah, AI I got on my list. There's a million stocks that look good. It's about narrowing them down and figuring out what's the best, right? There's going to be a million stocks that look doable, but it's still about okay, what is the best out of the group? All right, man. Let's go. Let's do what we do. I'll be in my chat room the rest of the day trading. It's been a hot week so far, so let's try not to give back too many profits. Woo, woo, woo. Yeah, it could be. Some of the earnings, there hasn't been as many good earnings plays. Mostly, I think, due to the fact everybody's just trading small caps right now.